Hi Libra, this is your astrological prognosis for the year 2012 with me, Lada. And I always advise you, check always the prognosis for the ascendant sign. First of all, because when you go to a professional astrologer, he will build your horoscope based on the ascendant sign. And of course, you know what your sun sign is, because the sun sign is like if you're born in October, the end of September or part of October, you will be Libra. And we're talking now about Libra. Here it is, your sign. But people, the sun is only 30%. It will tell you only 30% of the story. The other 30% will be said by the moon sign. And the other 30% will be said by the ascendant sign. But always start with the ascendant sign. Some people will resonate more for the prediction. Most people will resonate strongly with the prediction for the ascendant. Everyone will resonate for the prediction if you hear the exact degree and the exact day of your birth being mentioned. So if I mention the exact degree of your ascendant or your moon and the exact day of your birth, you will definitely experience what I'm talking about. And if you don't know your ascendant or your moon sign, go to my website astrolada.com, where there is a moon and ascendant sign calculators. Mark down the exact degree of your ascendant and moon and listen for the prediction when I mention this. But anyway, what is the year 2012 going to bring for you, Libras? Well, our fortunes are dictated by two planets, by the movements of two planets in relevance to the sign we're talking about. One of these planets is Jupiter, which wherever it passes, whatever area of life it affects, it will bring ease there, it will bring expansion, it will bring better clarity and understanding. And where Jupiter passes, it tests us. It brings doubt, contraction, it requires more effort. They can still be growth, but very slow growth with a lot of effort. While with Jupiter, the growth is like, very sudden and positive. Well, not sudden, but very easy, so to speak, without effort. And Jupiter stays for around 1 year in each of those signs, each of those houses. And Jupiter from the summer of 2011 has gone into your 8th house, and it will stay there till the summer of 2012. So till June 2012, Jupiter will still be activating this house. And the 8th house is on a mundane level, is a house of joint finances, or the finances of your partner. Especially if you have your ascendant in Libra, you probably in the past year, you've been able to benefit from your partner. Maybe he was paying more, the bigger part of the rent or the mortgage. Maybe he got an increase at work. Maybe you were relying more on partner for help. And when Jupiter is there, you can actually rely on others for financial security. You can use the resources of others. And it's not always money. It can be any kind of resources, borrowing from others. Banks may be giving you money, taxes, insurances, receiving settlement insurances, sorting out your taxes, maybe getting some money back by the tax man, anything, or maybe some inheritance, something coming from others, something coming. You can rely on other people's resources till June 2012, And also on a more psychological level, the 8th house is the house of deep intimacy. So you'll be much more psychologically understanding. You have a much more psychologically increased understanding of intimacy and of intimacy issue, of sharing with another. This is the house of sharing, of trusting another. When Jupiter goes into the 8th house, we become more trusting. We connect more deeper with another. So it's a good influence. It's quite positive. And you have this available till June. So you also, if you want to make a loan, use till June 2012. Make a loan from a bank. You'll get it much more easily. Especially, I keep repeating, if your ascendant is in a Libra. With the moon and sun as well, but mostly the ascendant has this influence. And then Jupiter from the second part of the year is moving into your 9th house. And and the 9th house is is actually very optimistic and happy house. Is the house of the higher mind. So a lot of you from the second part of the year will feel drawn to learning something new, maybe investigating a new science, maybe investigating a new religion or a new philosophy. You might be drawn from topics of high-minded interest, maybe political maybe something to do with politics or with the law or with spirituality. You know, you can really expand your mind when it comes down to getting the bigger picture and answering those bigger answers about life. Where am I coming from? What's the meaning of life? Ninth house is the house of meaning, of higher mind, of connection to God as well, because God is the higher meaning of life. It's the creator, you know. And this ninth house, it wants to know, the higher mind wants to know these answers to these big questions. You'll be able to find those answers. You can also find a really good teacher, someone of wisdom, to teach you something, to instill knowledge of you. If you've been looking for a teacher, this will be time you'll find it, a spiritual teacher or someone to direct you in life, to give you advice. You know, people will come to your life who will give you really good advice and direction in life. You can also plan for the future, because ninth house, you'll have like a bird's view over your problems and over anything that's happening in your life. You'll be able to finally see the puzzles, you know, to see how the puzzles fit from above, and to get an aha moment. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. It will give you a direction in your life. It will connect you more with your highest spiritual side as well, with your meaning of life, where you want to go, what you want to do. So, you know, and that's why a lot of people start studying something, because that's when they decide, when Jupiter goes into their ninth house, they decide, a lot of them, what they want to do and where they want to head, you know. They have an aha moment. They get inspired and they start studying something. Say they decide, I want to be I decided that I want to be an astrologer when Jupiter passed through my ninth house, so I started studying there, you know. And it's a great opportunity to expand from the second part of the 2012. And especially for those of you who don't know where they want to do yet, they don't know what they want to do, so they'll get a clearer idea, you know, so you better use it. The ninth house is the house of traveling as well, foreign travel, in order to expand your mind again. So some of you can take a gap year and travel around the world, or just get much more traveling experience. Just get much more opportunity to travel around, to meet foreigners, to meet people from other countries that will benefit them. Ninth house is the house of advertising as well, for successful advertising and promotion. So any of those things will be good for you. So try and promote yourself in some ways, you know, or your business if you have. Anyway, we saw where we're going to expand in 2012, those of you who have ascendant, especially in Libra or Moon or Sun. Now let's see where the contraction will be happening. Well, the contraction is happening where? In your own sign. Saturn is in Libra. And it's been there for the past, since the end of 2009. It's been the whole 2010 there. From the end of 2010. So the whole 2011 it's been in your sign. Where Saturn passes, it contracts, it brings doubts, it brings effort. And of course, you have there a moon or ascendant or sun. You've been strongly affected. Saturn passes through your sign in Libra once in 30 years, 29 years. So it's a very rare event. And it's staying there to October 2012. So you have a little bit longer to be tested, Libras, you know. And Saturn, what happens? For instance, if you had your sun in, and actually which Libra are going to be affected? Not all of you. Some of you passed through this in 2010 and 2011. Actually, only those Libras who, say, are born from the 15th till the 23rd of October. It means you have your sun there, you know. You have your sun in Libra. From the 15th to the 23rd of October, they will be tested now, 2012. Or those of you who have their moon or ascendant from 20 degrees to 30 degrees in Libra. So the last 10 degrees. So basically Saturn right now, each sign is divided into 30 degrees, 10, 10, 10. Saturn has passed the first 20 already. And just though it will affect now those of you who are born from the 15th to the 23rd of October, who have their moon ascended from 20 to 30 degree Libra. And what will be happening? Okay, if it's your ascendant there, your moon, Saturn passing, it's always like a new beginning, you know, because that's the first house. You're laying new foundations for a new beginning. Maybe you were getting rid of old things till now for the last 2.5 years. And now it's going to be the time to lay the foundations, to consolidate those, you know, to finally start building something new. And it's very painful for a lot of you, you know. A lot of you had to, and a lot of you will have problems even in relationship, getting rid of relationships that are no longer effective in their life, you know, or just having testing time with their relationship. A lot of you will also, if your ascendant or moon is in Saturn, it's probably one of the most testing times in life. I don't want to scare you, but you're left without being able to rely on much on anyone, you know, resources wise, especially when it's your moon from 20 to 30 degrees Libra. It might be a bit hard, you know, because you might isolate yourself more. You might withdraw a bit from the world, you know. You might be distancing yourself more from others because you need to analyze yourself. You need to observe yourself. You're really critical towards yourself, a lot of you maybe, and you don't feel support from others. You know, especially even though Jupiter is in the 8th house of other people's resources here, the first part of the year where you can rely on other people's resources. Yes, it is, but if your moon or ascendant is from 20 to 30 degrees Libra, most probably you have to be much more lonely and you have to rely mostly on yourself. So it's not for all Libras, this thing. You know, so you might even say, if you're in a relationship, maybe the partner is married to someone and he cannot be with you, you know, the person that you're in love with, so you feel lonely more often. Or if you're single and you're trying to find a relationship, you keep finding that it's hard, that you keep being let down by the partners you're dating, you know. Or just somehow you have to rely on yourself to make it hard, you know, to lay the hard work, the foundations of through hard work, you know. It's as I keep saying, Saturn passing over the ascendant or the moon, it is a bit of a time of isolation, being lonely and having it a bit harder. Also, if it's passing over your moon, you might relocate, you might change this 30 degree in Libra, you might change place of living next year to October. Also, if it's your sun, if you're born from the 15th to the 23rd of October, Saturn is passing over your sun, so it requires much more effort for you. You're going to be asking yourself, what do I want to do in my life? Where do I want to head? Because the sun is the goals and direction in our life. And even if it's the moon or the ascendant, you still feel the same. You know, where am I going? Being critical to yourself. Things getting harder, much more harder than normal. You're having to work harder than normal. But at the same time, it's fantastic because it focuses your energy. It gives you much more perseverance, determination. And you will feel like making things real and practical, making them happen. Because Saturn is a concrete planet. It wants a concrete event. So it makes you work your ass off. But results come slowly. But the foundation that you built is very stable if you do your work well, you know. So a lot of you can become just more focused on, you know, I see a lot of people starting businesses on their own when Saturn is passing over their sun, ascendant, or moon, because then they have to rely on themselves mostly. And they have to, you know, they have to basically, they don't have much time for socializing, for having fun. All they have to focus is on this certain project, and all the energy will go there. Or they're doing something that requires a lot of concentrated effort and attention, and they cannot put much attention to anything else. Because if it's the ascendant that Saturn is passing over, the ascendant is a lot to do with where you're headed in life, with your path in life. So when Saturn passes over the ascendant or over the sun as well, it's your goals, your path in life that have to be decided on. What are the most important things you want to do, and try and follow them. Otherwise, you get really hard on yourself, you know. Really, you get very critical towards yourself. If you sit there, don't do anything during Saturn periods like you're having 2012, you're gonna get more depressed than anything else. But if you get down to work, don't worry, Saturn will really help you and give you much more focused energy and much more determination. But you have to lay the groundwork, you know. Even if doubts come, even if you feel like you have to really limit your time for having fun, for your resources or whatever it is, you will profit at the end of that, you know. So by the end of October, things should start getting much more sunnier for you, much more easier than normal. But till then, just you're laying foundations, you're working hard, you know, and you're discovering better who you want to be, where you want to go, and how you want to be seen, and you're working on this image, you know. So basically, this is what is happening. Oh, and there is another group of you Libras who are born from 23rd of September till 2nd of October. They're having Uranus influence, and Uranus is completely the opposite of Saturn. You know, Saturn wants to consolidate, to make more secure, to make more real, to make something manifest, while Uranus wants to upturn whatever is there. If something has been founded, if something is stayed in a place for too long, Uranus just wants to unroot it and completely change it, you know. So a lot of you might be having completely, those of you who are born from the 21st of September to the 2nd of October, you'll be having complete change in your direction in life. Or if you have your ascendant for that reason, from 0 to 9 degrees in Libra, your ascendant, or your moon from 0 to 9 degrees Libra. If it's your moon from 0 to 9 degrees Libra, a lot of you can change place of living, as the moon shows place of living, like property. They can have a change with property. Yeah, it's also, if it's your moon in Libra from 0 to 9 degrees, you can have an ups and downs in relationships, because the moon is directly connected to your relationship. So you might have an on and off relationship with someone. There is something unstable in your life, you know. It's very exciting. Maybe someone very suddenly appears in your life, but he might not be there full time. Maybe he lives far away, you know. And this happens the same with the ascendant, because the ascendant has a direct relevance to relationships. So those of you who from 0 to 9 degrees, you might be having an on and off relationships, or you might meet someone and you think, oh, that's the person for me. And then this person is gone. And then he comes back, or then he doesn't. It's like there is instability there, but there is a lot of excitement. You can fall in love overnight. But just be aware for 2012, if you're born in these degrees ascendant moon, there might not be stability in your relationships and the people that you relate to. You might be, even if you're in a stable relationship already, it's very possible that this relationship can be disrupted because you need freedom, or your partner needs freedom. Your partner wants to have no longer restrictions, so you want that, you know. So relationship can be tested, but it's also quite liberating, because Uranus influence is to liberate us from things that are no longer authentic for us, that are not taking us to our happiness, you know. And anyway, Libra, very busy month. Very busy year, 2012. You know, some of you will be getting tested and restricted in their affairs. Some of you will be changing completely relationships and getting much more excitement and ups and downs constantly, changing goals and directions. If you're born from the 23rd to the 2nd of October, changing where you're heading in life, maybe relationships, and also planning, you know, the second part of the of 2012, planning for the future, starting to learn something new, starting to expand your knowledge and to travel maybe a bit more, and connecting more with God, with your higher self, with your meaning of life, finding out what it is that you want to do. You know, so very, very important year for you Libras, you know, especially Saturn being in your sign, and it's moving out in October, but till October you have the final chance to consolidate where you're headed and what you want to do and who you are. You're defining who you are and where you want to be in your life right now. So kind of testing time, but I'm sure you go through it, Libras. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next year.